Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about Eagles Jihad Campbell here in tonight's video because this guy just put on a clinic against Dak and the Dallas Cowboys offense, and this is the clip that's making its rounds on social media. People are really hating on it for some reason here. He's number 30 going against the tight end, and it still baffles me. I don't make too many Eagles videos. I think this is like my 6th ever. I don't really understand why he was almost a second-round draft pick. I remember the entire draft process. He was a top 15 pick the entire time. I was thinking maybe my Green Bay Packers were even going to take him a little bit if he fell all the way into the 20s. If he fell. Now, this is where, the football's right here, obviously. People are ragging on this because, first off, Vic Fangio should never be able to have a guy like Jihaad Campbell coming off a Super Bowl win. It's just too much. It's too talented. Nakobe Dean, you got Zach Bond, you got all these studs at linebacker, and this guy did not look like a rookie. And so people were critiquing this right here, and I'll see if I can pause it properly. You see right here, the tight end is going here for the catch, and people are calling this lucky. I saw this way too much on social media. It was lucky. He just happened to put his hands up at the right time. What these guys, usually defensive backs, what they're looking for is wide receivers, when they make their move or whatever, when they bring their hands up, that means, if you're not locating the ball because Campbell's running with them, that means I got to get my hands up as well because that means he's trying to catch the football. So you see right there, I actually paused it perfectly. He sees the tight end's hands go up to catch this football. And so he puts both of his hands up. And what happens? It's a deflection. Now they get some great safety help here. And this is this would be a tough catch. It's a very nice throw. Maybe if it wasn't or if it was a different rookie linebacker across the NFL, this would probably be a tough catch, just considering I don't know if this guy's ready to get hit like this from your defensive back here. But I absolutely loved it. And that's one thing that was super impressive just in general with this football game is Campbell's ability in coverage. And we're going to go through a bunch of different clips in tonight's video. You see it from the other angle here that just kind of showcase he did not look like a rookie in his rookie debut. All right, guys, we got the fumble here, the forced fumble by Campbell, number 30 right there. And then Quinyon Mitchell picks this up perfectly. And Dak comes in here with this miraculous tackle, very nice tackle from a quarterback. We got him here on the edge. But, folks, before we get any further into the video, hit that like button if you don't mind. We're trying to hit 50 likes on this video. Like I said, it's probably like my 6th ever Eagles video. I've posted over 3,000 NFL videos in the last 2 or 3 years. And for some reason, we have not talked much Eagles, so I'm trying to change that here. I want to say this real quick. 56 total snaps Campbell had. He had 3 total tackles. This forced fumble right here. 2 targets, only allowed 1 reception, which was -3 yards. He had a pass deflection that we just showed you and allowed only a 56.3 passer rating. And like we said, some way, somehow, he goes all the way to the 31st pick, to the reigning Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, maybe it was, I kind of want to fact check that draft pick because that doesn't make sense if you guys just won the Super Bowl. Anyways, he pretty much fell all the way to the second round, or was about to fall all the way to the second round, and I'm sure your GM was absolutely licking his chops, and I'm sure Vic Fangio was as well. But he comes in here and just strips it. I mean, you don't see this. This was really the turning point in the football game because Dallas was driving the ball down the field. This is right before the rain delay. And, obviously Sanders right here fumbles this football. Just had like a 49-yarder. Zach comes all the way up at the linebacker position, outruns him, catches up to him, takes him down. And then a play or two later, you see this Campbell forced fumble. The dude really had a phenomenal NFL debut. So I apologize at the quality of this clip. This is the last play of the game for the Philadelphia Eagles defense. That was a terrible square. We got Campbell here, and I remember the announcers were talking about this right before it actually happened. And obviously this football ends up going to CeeDee Lamb all the way up here, and he ends up dropping it. But right before this play was snapped, who was it? It was Chris Collinsworth and somebody. They were talking about the pressure. We got these guys here. There's a bunch of players in the box. Looks like Philly's about to bring a bunch of rushers, and we got Campbell here who sells this blitz very nicely and then quickly drops back into coverage. They're covering this guy right here. And, like I said, this ball ends up going to CeeDee Lamb. But this is 4th and 3. And I could feel it. I could feel the pressure. I got Dak as my starting quarterback in fantasy football, so I was hoping that they could convert this. Sorry to root against you guys, but I was hoping they'd convert this and Dak could finally get a touchdown for my fantasy football team. He had like 7 damn points. But anyways, I wanted to show you this, just the small stuff there. All right, here we go. We're looking down here, number 30, Campbell. And then the play right here is actually going to go to Zach Bond, who does a phenomenal job of breaking this up. And I'll just let you play it out before we break it down. Pretty similar. This ball's a little bit underthrown from Dak here. Maybe if there's a little bit more pop on it, the wide receiver doesn't have to try and reach over Zach here. But he does a great job of getting his hands up as well right before the wide receiver. All right, my hands are going up. I'm about to catch the football because it's being thrown my way. So you're the linebacker. Let me get this thrown, or let me get my hands up as well. Now, what we're looking at down here, this is George Pickens, who had a very quiet night for Dallas last night. And a linebacker in coverage. It sounds obvious. A linebacker is kind of like the quarterback or the defense. They should be able to do it all. But little do you have linebackers that can actually do it all, like what you guys seem to be getting all the damn time now. But he's covering George Pickens, and he does a phenomenal job. But we got a little bit of safety help here. But just in general, very good coverage on one of the better wide receivers in the National Football League. We're going to change it up for these last 2 plays because it just really was a phenomenal night for this defense. And, you see Jordan Davis right here. He had a really nice night. The whole Eagles defensive line did. I saw him getting ragged on Twitter for not being able to rush the passer here, but maybe we were watching different games. I thought they did a perfectly fine job. Jordan Davis looks like he had a really nice offseason here, and Dak ends up, converting this for a first down to CeeDee Lamb. But right here, Jordan Davis, number 90, he finished with 3 quarterback hurries. Could have had a sack right here. Could have had probably 2 sacks in this football game. You're going up against some really good talent on the Dallas Cowboys offensive line as well. And, this was big because the Jalen Carter being DQ'd right out of the get-go, that was a big deal. And you didn't really feel that. Like I said, I'm a biased, just kind of unaware, casual Packers fan here, but you would think a player like, Jalen Carter's presence would have been felt drastically, and that wasn't really the vibe I got in this football game. So Jordan Davis did a really good job. Now, I'll end it here on this clip. The football game really should have ended right here. Quinyon Mitchell, this is why these guys are on defense, as the announcers always say. You see CeeDee Lamb ends up slipping. Maybe this isn't the best angle. This is just the TV angle. CeeDee Lamb slips. He's not able to jump up for this football. Ball falls out of Quinyon Mitchell's hands. But at the end of the day, when he was covering CeeDee Lamb, one of the league's best wide receivers, all-pro wide receiver, 4 total targets, CeeDee only had 1 catch for 13 yards. So, yeah, I saw some rhetoric online that, Campbell had kind of a similar debut for Philadelphia like Quinyon Mitchell did last season. And, I talked about this in our post-game recap. Go check that out if you haven't already. And I was just saying, I don't know how you guys do it continuously year after year. Because Philly's a little bit banged up. They got some critical guys injured right now. They lost a couple of pieces like Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, whatever. And it's just such a good defense. It's such a good team. The drafting so good. The coaching, the development, it's all just so good. And I wanted to show some respect to Quinyon Mitchell. So, folks, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. Let me know down below your thoughts on Jihaad Campbell's NFL debut. And we'll see you soon. Peace.